So, while that one's on you, now that that one's heading for YouTube, let's talk a little bit about using Zoom to do the same thing. Zoom is also free to you. We have a total of 20 Zoom Pro accounts in Online Learning Pathways that you are welcome to use. They are shared in that you would be sharing that account with, right now, 2 or 3 other faculty members probably. But the chances of 2 people needing the same account, they're needing to do a presentation at the same time, seems pretty remote. We actually haven't run into that yet. We've had our Zoom licenses for 8, 9 months now. But in the event that something like that does happen, we have other accounts that you can use. We can always accommodate that if you give us a chance. So you can use Zoom for free. You, in fact, can go to the Zoom website. Let me share screen here. Show you that. See, I probably have it online here somewhere. I'm opening too many windows, forgetting what I have open. You can go to zoom.us. That's all it takes to get there. That's the URL. And you can sign up for free. Just put in your email address, and then they collect a little bit of information about you. They don't seem to sell you to anybody. And you can get a free Zoom account that works just as well as the one I'm using right here, with one limitation. The free account only has one limitation, and that is that your meeting can't be longer than 40 minutes. However, what they don't tell you is that once the first meeting ends, you can just start another one immediately and continue for another 40 minutes and keep going all day if you want to. But you're certainly welcome to use one of our Pro accounts. I think we got another question on chat. Is it possible to put 2 separate Camtasia recordings into one video? Absolutely. But again, you've got to have Camtasia Studio to do that. Something you can do without Camtasia Studio. Let's say you recorded multiple Camtasia sessions and you wanted them to be just one big video for your students to watch. You can put them on YouTube, and you can make on YouTube what's called a playlist. Let's see. And that groups those videos together in the order that you specify. So in effect, it's all one video. Does that answer your question? Great. Fantastic. All righty.
Hi, Dave. I have a question.
Please.
Can you please just show us real quickly, like how you would say, for example, explain the course homepage on the Blackboard
Absolutely.
course?
Absolutely. Here I'm sharing my screen, so you'll be able to see it. Excuse me. So I just go to Blackboard, which I had up here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me start from scratch, and I'll log out. And let's go back to to access your course in Blackboard, just go to Board login, log into Blackboard. We've been through that already, right?
Right.
All right. Now, you would just take them into the course. Go to my screencasting course here. And the course comes up on the screen. We can take them through and say, well, your course content is here. You start at the top. And the first thing you do is watch the video. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Introduction. There's enough of that. And then you read the syllabus. Here's the syllabus. And you can take them through the syllabus. You can highlight portions of the syllabus to emphasize. That's a mercifully brief syllabus. You can then show them how to use the course, show them how to look for announcements. Getting the idea?
Yes, thank you.
So then you can just take them through and show them everything in the course and show them how the course works. Show them where to find your content.
Right, okay.
Learning modules. Okay, so here are your learning modules. We're going to a learning module, and we'll talk about what is screencasting first and so on.
Right, okay.
All right? That's all there is to it. And that is being recorded by Zoom right now. I could also have started up Camtasia Relay and recorded it in that.
Okay.
But since I'm sending Zoom to you, it was just easier that way. The great advantage that Zoom has for a lecture capture tool over Camtasia Relay is that Zoom can be used in a blended situation where you have students who are, just as you all are, experiencing the lecture in real time, and you can record it at the same time.
Okay.
Two birds with one very large stone.
Right.
The, oops, got the wrong camera on there. But the, I guess I am on that other camera over there as well, too. Got a little laptop. A neat trick when you're doing live meetings like this is to have another laptop or an iPad or a Microsoft Surface or something off to the side and have it logged in as a student or an attendee in the conference. And so I can see what you're seeing. So I don't have to wonder if you're seeing it or not. And I think I saw another chat item there. Can you copy your Camtasia video so you keep the original untouched and edit the copy? You betcha. When you record in Camtasia Relay and you send it to the server and it sends it to, say, YouTube, it also makes a backup copy of the video for you in a format that will import directly into Camtasia Studio. You can then drop that copy in Camtasia, a copy of that in Camtasia Studio and work on it, and yet keep the edits that you do in Camtasia Studio are what are called non-destructive edits. They don't change the original file, the original recording. So that recording will make, that recording will stay intact indefinitely. And you can make as many copies as you want. There is no limit. That was the next part of the question.
Dave, I have a question.
Please.
So should I can't see your face right now. I just
that's my bad. Just a second, I can fix that.
Okay,
I'm just noticing that myself. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, of course. But, okay, now you can see.
So I have to do a mandatory orientation with our continuing ed students. Do you have something already recorded that I could just click on and it orientates them to using Blackboard?
Oh boy, do we. Okay. Informative thing here. Let's see, I need to share my screen to show you that. Shrink down my image on your screen. And I can go to our website, Online Learning Pathways, under Student Training. Get the chat window out of the way here. And this is our online student training and orientation page. And under, of course, this is intended for students just to start with number 1 and keep going. But they can go to Tips for Success. And then finally, the next one is Explore. And of course, they can have this very attractive young lady speak to them too. But And finally, practice. This is the one I was looking for. Sorry, Donna. You can log into Blackboard. And that's not what I wanted to show you. Shoot. Go back. Where is that? Ah, there it is. I knew it was there somewhere. How to navigate and an overview of Blackboard tools. Click on that. Camtasia. Recording. Play.
Welcome to online learning at the San Diego Community College District. You can view to get an A in the course. Or that the instructor
It's a course tour
of
a sample Blackboard course.
You may have to content may not.
We all, for more specific questions, that'll give them the whole, both barrels, all at one time. We, for another option here, see, I need to get that out of full screen. We have online student tutorials. Give them, answer a lot of questions for them. And then, of course, everywhere on here, we have our online student resources and FAQ. And here's our 24/7 help desk. So they can always pick up a phone any time of the day or night and call for help with Blackboard.
Are those tutorials captioned?
Yes, you better believe they are. We would be in such hock if they weren't.
So if I'm doing a synchronistic lecture and I have a deaf student in my class, what's my option for that student?
Okay. This is Camtasia Relay would not help you with that for recording. The option there is to have the Camtasia Relay recording captioned, and they'll watch it. If they're in your class live, of course, they presumably have an interpreter. That takes care of that. But let's say you're sending your class out through Zoom live, and you've got a hearing impaired student on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom has a closed captioning window that the student can open up that no one else has to see. And we can put a live captioner, a court reporter, in there, and they can caption what you're saying in real time. The technology is in place to do that. What we're waiting for right now is the mechanism to get the court reporter assigned to the session and get them in there. In other words, a web page where you can request that automatically when you set up your Zoom session in advance. You do have to give 48 hours notice for that. And that will be paid for by the DECT grant. There's money from the State Chancellor's Office for that. Like I say, they're still setting up the infrastructure on that for Zoom. It's just like, it'll be just very similar to what you can do with Blackboard Collaborate, CCC Confer right now. You just say, I want a captioner in a session that I'm going to hold in 48 hours or later, and that student will then have real-time captions from a person, an immensely talented person who can create text as fast as you can talk. They don't come cheap. Thank goodness DECT pays for that. But that, we don't really have that option in Zoom right now, but it will be coming very shortly. Otherwise, I'd have that running today. Take a chance here, but we're getting away with it so far.
And if I'm going to be recording the lectures that I do with students, do I need to include anything in the syllabus and, to notify the students that it's going to be recorded and then how that recording will be used?
Yeah, I would. Certainly, if you're going to record live in a classroom, you're going to have to tell them that. Yes, absolutely up front. And I'd announce it at the beginning of the class too. When you get okay, we're about to record. Remember, by coming into the room, you're giving tacit permission for us to do that. If anybody is uncomfortable with that, let me know right now. Actually, you need to put that in the syllabus. If you're uncomfortable with that, we need to talk, or perhaps you need to take another section. Because what we used to do was put up a placard on the door of our video conferencing room that said, by entering here, you give permission for the class to be recorded, including you and anything you say or do. And if you don't want to do that, you can take the class in another format. Mm-hmm. But you got to warn them. That's a very good point. I probably wouldn't have thought of that. Yes, you got to warn them.
Is there anything officially that's written out for how to include that in our syllabus?
We don't have any boilerplate for that, but we'd be happy to work with you on developing that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Basically, it would be what I just said. Our live classroom lectures will be recorded and focus on the positives of that. And by entering the classroom, you will get tacit permission for us to use. But it will only be shared with your fellow students, only through Blackboard. It will not be placed on a public website, and it won't be available to the world. And that's important for some people because people have stalkers. And some people just don't want to be videoed at all because they're afraid somebody will find them. You could have somebody in witness protection, for God's sake. It does happen. And so you have to be sensitive to that. You're absolutely right. That's a very good point.
Well, we're right now with Continuing getting ready for accreditation, so there's a lot going on in terms of what needs to include in the syllabus.
I have your ducks in a row, right? And I know everybody's in that boat. So good. Great questions.
I'm just wondering if something like that might be, in terms of the person who's doing our syllabus training right now, that might be something good for her to know to include.
Indeed. That's a good idea. If you're going to be doing this sort of thing, you do need to warn people. So. Okay. Now, doing this in practical terms with Zoom is easier in some ways than Camtasia Studio. Let me pull out, let's see, I had Zoom here somewhere. Up. Let me pull that up again. There it is. To start a meeting in Zoom is amazingly simple. You sign in, if you're using our account, you sign in with your credentials, or if you're using one of our accounts, you sign in with the credentials we give you. It's a simple sign-in. I can't show that to you because I'm already signed into Zoom here, and that's what we're using. But it's a very simple sign-in, and you come to a page that looks like this that says My Meetings. And I've already got a meeting in progress, and it doesn't exactly, well, it does know that, because if I get the videos out of the way there, there's a Join button. But if I did not have a session in progress, that button would say Start. And you just click Start, and bing, you're in Zoom. It's the same experience that you all had when you joined the session this morning. It'll ask you if you want to use the computer audio, or if you want to use your telephone for audio. Usually you'll use your computer. And then you just go in and you see whoever's moderating the course, whoever's talking at the time. The getting your students into the session is pretty simple. This session has your personal meeting room has a URL, which we can see if I click on this. I think give this to the, yeah, there it is. There's the URL right there. I know that's a little fine print, I'm sorry, but trust me, you can read it on the direct screen. I don't know how clear it is on the screen share, but there, all you have to do is make that URL available to your students, either in an email or a series of emails, or, as I did, or you can put that as a link into Blackboard. And they just click on it, they go into Zoom, and they go into the right room. And that gives them access, everything they need. They can even do this on their phones. There's a Zoom app for both Android and iOS, and all they have to do is bring up the email or Blackboard or whatever in their web browser and tap on that link, and that activates the Zoom app automatically. And next thing you know, they're seeing you on their screen. They're seeing any screen shares that you do. The same with tablets, iPads, Android tablets. All those work equally well. So all you have to do to get people in is to provide that URL to them. And that URL doesn't, if you use your personal meeting room URL, that never changes. So that's all there is to getting people in. You've seen a little bit about managing or using the Zoom interface over the last couple of hours. Believe it or not, we've been at this for 2 hours and 50 minutes now. I'm looking at Sushila, I'm thinking she realizes it's been 2 hours and 50 minutes. We did have somebody the other day kind enough to say, oh, I didn't realize, boy, 3 hours just went right by. But using the Zoom interface is pretty simple. You just mouse over the video window, as you've seen, and the little menu pops up at the bottom of the screen. I can't show you that live because I'm using it. It's a chicken egg thing. But I have recorded it. Let's see if I can find that recording here. That's it. Okay. This is a little recording I made this morning that shows you what the Zoom menu looks like. You've seen that. And I was seeing a couple of these things here. Let me get that one. You may not have seen the closed caption window or the breakout sessions. You can actually, if you're giving a long class and you want people to break up and do group work, you can set up separate breakout Zoom sessions for groups. They can work, they can collaborate just as we've been doing. They can share screens with each other and send this stuff back and forth, and then come back into the main room and report, just like you can in the classroom. And nobody has to hear anybody else do it. You don't have to send them to a different room. And also there's the closed caption window. Those have to be activated deliberately in your account. So you probably haven't seen those. But let's see. Oh, I've got a little menu over here so I can show you things. One thing that most of you have figured out how to do is mute your audio, but let me show you that. There's the, I got to play. There's a little mute button down the lower left-hand corner. This is how you change microphones and speakers at need. That's why I couldn't hear you all initially. I left that speaker changed and forgot to go back and fix it. Most of you figured out how to, I was trying to put things back to where they were. Most of you figured out how to shut off your video. If you don't, if it's a bad hair day and you don't want people to see. And this is how you change cameras if you have multiple cameras. Nothing much to it. Just that little up caret there. And here's how you share screen. You just click that green button. And you can, let me pause this a second. You can share any window on your computer, or you can just share your desktop, which means that anything you bring up later will be shared. That's what I usually do, and that's the default. That highlight there, the green highlight is in case that's what's going to be shared. But you also have a shared whiteboard. So you can all get on there and draw together. Matter of fact, we even have annotation. There's the, it's about the best I can do with a mouse. There's what you're going to share. You all can draw on this too. Do me a favor. Hold on that right now, but you can draw on my screen too. So that's all possible. And once you then picked what you want to share, you just go down and click the share screen button in the lower right, and that proceeds to share your screen. You can look at your participants. You can share something different. You can turn your video on and off while you're sharing your screen. You can mute yourself and unmute yourself while you're sharing your screen. No way you want to do that, I'm not sure. You can annotate, as I showed you there. And you can go to the chat. You can bring up chat from there and other things. And finally, you can stop the share. I think I'll do that here in a moment. What am I showing you? Oh, that's bringing my video back. You could even end the session if you wanted to from there. Or there you can stop the share. So that's pretty much it to using the Zoom. Though you all seem to take to that very naturally. Another wonderful thing about Zoom is that relative to CCC Confer, Blackboard Collaborate, it's so much easier for everybody to get in and get to where they can hear you and see you than it is with CCC Confer, which is a nightmare in that regard. In a CCC Confer Blackboard Collaborate session, there's always at least 2 or 3 people in any session that can't get in or can't hear you or can't make it work. That rarely happens with Zoom. It's easy for the students to get into. It's very, the hurdle for getting into using the technology is very, very, very low.
Dave?
Yes.
I was just going to say that I use Zoom for online office hours.
Yeah.
And I would have to attest to the fact that it is super easy for the students to get in. And you guys even have a video on your on demand that's what I post in my website so that they can view that first, and that it's just that little teeny file that they have to download. Last semester I had a student that, you know, he wasn't a super comfortable computer user, but even he got in, he come on. I shared my screen and then he shared his screen, which was great because then I could see where he was going wrong. I could then share my screen again, show him how to do it, and it cleared up the problem. So yeah. It's really easy for them to, you know, show you their screen as well if it's something that they're doing on their computer. It's great.
Okay, and yes, and we have those the tutorials that Leslie mentioned are available at stccdolvid.org. There's a tab for this in Blackboard as well. It's our on-demand video site. All you have to do is go to the search and type Zoom. There's everything you wanted to know about Zoom, but we're afraid to ask here. And there's one on how to get in. There's one joining a Zoom meeting from your computer. There's another one on joining from your mobile device. So everything that your students need is online, and this is an open public website. Anybody can get to this. You can just put a link to these videos in your course or whatever. So, and we're of course always happy to help you with that. So any support you need, any information you need for you or for your students, any production help, that's what we're here for. That's what instructional designers do. And Katie and I have both been doing this stuff for a long time, and it is, at least speaking for myself, it's my favorite part of the job. Maybe after this, I love live sessions like this. And they're just as much fun when there's nobody present in the physical room. Let's see, we got another chat message. Let's see, Mary has Zoom info and resources. Don't know how to get out of private. Oh, Jane Newcomb just sent me a message. Jane, there's a menu of people on the left-hand side of the chat window, and everyone is at the top. Just click everyone, and you can then everyone will see your messages.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. Let's talk. Hi, Jane.
Yay.
So happy to see you there.
Okay.
Let me see here now. One thing I need to do is I need to make sure I've got I can see that window, and I can see everybody who is here at the end. Yeah, this is how I can take roll. I've recorded this screen any number of times during the course of the thing. I'll just go through and find it, and I can look, and I can see who's in there. So you all don't have to sign up, so we can know how many people we had, who all was there. Though I think I remember most of you, but the quieter folks, I'm in trouble.
Are those tutorials that you just showed us? Are they on your Blackboard demo page? You know
They're on Blackboard.
They are on Blackboard. Okay.
Let me show you. Find Blackboard here. Go back to CNN. I just pulled Blackboard up the old-fashioned way here. That won't work. I'll answer questions as long as you have them. We're at 12 o'clock, so you've gotten your 3 hours of flex credit. You don't have to worry about that. But, okay, here we go. Open
on demand. Okay, got it.
Yeah, right there. That'll take you right to it.
Okay.
And yes, it is linked to our website as well, but this is probably easier.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. This was
Thank
fabulous.
you very much. Yeah.
Thank you all for coming in, for being here with me, sort of virtually. Hey, there's really not much you can do face-to-face that you can't do this way, and I hope you saw that today. And record it all. And this whole thing has been recorded. It's still being recorded, and I will have it up online by early next week. Any final questions? What have I forgotten? Let me check chat. I'm proud of myself. I've been remembering to do that today. Okay. And I remembered to record it. Y'all have been such a fun group to have. Thank you so much. I hope you'll come back next week. We're doing something else. Damn if I can remember what it is right now.
Dave, I have a question.
Please.
I really appreciated Leslie talking about how you've used it. And I was wondering, sometimes with these kind of presentations, can there be a part 2 where we can come back and say, maybe how we've gone in to see your tutorials or how we've tried to use it with our students to really take it to that next level, which is our application of what you've presented today?
That's a really good idea. Yeah, sure. We could set up a Zoom meeting at a mutually convenient time and do that. Why don't you email me about that, Donna? I'll have the attendance list and so on here.
But I'm just wondering, is anybody else in the session, would anybody else share that interest?
We got from Sushila to everyone, absolutely agree.
Well, I would definitely be interested, but I need some time. I mean, I don't think I can commit to next week and things like that.
Oh, we could do it maybe later in the semester sometime.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Cool idea. Yeah. You know,
I think a good time.
I'm really liking that idea. I could just set up a session later in the semester for everybody who's been in every one of our sessions, and we could all share all these good ideas. Just have a big sharing.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think
Yeah,
it's
and I
The smorgasbord.
What a good idea! See, ask the audience. You know,
yeah.
the collective intelligence of the cloud. Great idea, Don.
Well, I'm just wondering, when you say later in the semester, maybe in the time that we're going to be preparing for the summer, so we could be looking at how we're going to, you know, how we've practiced it and how we might be then, you know, implementing it.
Right? How can you then move on? Because summer, of course, is a great time to implement something like that.
Right, right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What a good idea.
It's a great idea.
So it's not,
Because
we're not dependent on my short-term memory.
I was going to say, you know, it's so hard for everyone to keep up on everything technology, so it is great to be able to share ideas and just see how different instructors use, you know, the different technological resources.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and thank you, Leslie. That's a great idea to put the link, the Zoom link, in your syllabus or in your shell and have them. I think that's a fabulous idea. I hadn't thought of that, to get one-on-one meetings.
It makes it easy. I just have a link on my homepage, and I just call it Online Meeting Room, and they can click on that link, and then on the page that they find, I have like the video to help them log in if they've never logged in before. And then I have my, like, I use it for office hours. So then I have my times that I'm doing online office hours. And then I just have the link to my personal room.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Yeah, so I have a whole page.
Yeah.
So
Great
Leslie,
idea.
could you give us access to be able to see that?
Yeah, you know what? It's too bad I'm not on my, oh, I'm on my iPad, shoot, because I could just share my screen real quick. Hold on.
you can share your screen from the, well, yeah, but you can share a website on your iPad.
Okay. You know what? Let me just log off real quick, and I have my computer right here. I'm going to log back on, and then I can show you my Blackboard site. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
So I'm going to say, whoops, leave meeting. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that session already. When we get everybody together, we just talk about this stuff and the new ideas we've had and the things that have worked and haven't worked. And because these technologies are all complementary, you know, they synergize with one another. So the idea of having a big sharing session at the end of toward the time we're getting ready for summer and so on is so good. I'm writing that down even.
So Dave, how did you just do that note that popped up for us?
All right.
I just, that was a chat.
So when there's a chat note from the host, it's going to pop up. But when there's a chat note from the participants, we don't see it.
No, it depends on whether they send it to everyone or privately. If you send it to everyone, everyone will see it. It'll pop up.
Right. So I do a lot of conferencing with an online school where when we're doing the online conference, we have the sidebar and we're seeing the chat notes coming up automatically on the sidebar. Does that happen with Zoom as well?
You can do that with Zoom if you have two monitors. You can, when you click on the chat window, it'll pop up. But it's kind of intrusive to leave it, to leave it on the screen all the time. But if you have a second monitor, you can drag it off onto the second monitor and keep it visible at all times, yes. And that's, you're probably using Blackboard Collaborate, and they've just not undocked the chat window. Okay, let's see. Oh, Leslie, not to worry. I'm sure she will share that with us later.
Yeah, if she could email us a link, that would be great.
Pardon? Leslie, can you hear us now?
I don't think so. Her microphone is muted.
Yeah, I'm going to unmute her microphone there. I can do that from here. Assuming I can see. Oh, there she is.
So if we're doing a video conferencing with our students and there's one particular student that has a dog barking in the background,
Yes.
do we have to mute everybody to get rid of that dog barking, or can we identify that select student and just mute that one student?
You can mute that one student. You go to the participants menu in the Zoom window, and you see here, and then you can mute any individual that way, and you can tell probably who it is, because when you see their little microphone icon, you'll see it turning green, little green bar running up and down it, and when you see that, you can tell where the sound's coming from, and you can just mute that one person. You can mute all if it's an emergency and there's a feedback loop going on or something like that. You can mute all. Leslie is telling us that she's switched to Windows 10. I empathize. This is a Windows 10 machine I'm using, and I had some of the same problems after when I first switched it over. Yeah, you can share your screen at any time. And we were hearing you just fine. But I don't, let's see, but she's not hearing me when I say that. There you are, we hear you.
Okay, for some reason, my computer is kind of acting up. So what I'll do is I'll just share the screen on my computer one, and I'll just talk through you guys, so.
And very clever workaround.
Can I go ahead and do share screen?
Please do. You should be able to do that right now.
Yeah. Okay.
All righty, we can see your screen.
All right, so let's see. I think it's for my 128 class. So I have a class that I teach PowerPoint. And then you can see this is my course homepage. So here's my online meeting info using Zoom. So I just have that link on my homepage, and then students can click on that. And then I've just created an item. That's something I learned from Katie, which is really easy. So I just kind of give them a quick introduction here. And here's the link to that video, Dave, that you were just showing us.
Right.
And I just made a little icon too, just if they want to click that, they can, or they can click the link. So I tell them to first watch the video so that they'll know what to do. And then I tell them, that you can join a meeting. I also have here listed that they can use, something, either their smartphone or tablet. And here's my meeting room. So this 237 number is if they want to join right through the Zoom app, they could do that as well. So here's where I have my office hours listed. And I let them know too, definitely can be by appointment because that's so easy. And then finally, I just tell them click here. Here's, just another little icon. I made that in Canva, Katie.
Oh, yeah.
Canva, which is really nice. So they can either click here, or here's my link to my meeting room. So that's kind of how I have everything sort of laid out for them to use. So again, it's just on my homepage.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, so hopefully, they can, successfully find it. I think so, but.
Do you mind if I cut this out and put it in our Zoom videos? That's the best incorporation of Zoom into Blackboard I've seen.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, sure.
Do you mind?
You can definitely.
Leslie, do you get a lot of students responding?
The first semester that I used it, not a ton. So I think you have to keep reminding them that it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes, I would have no one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just sitting by myself. But that happens in your office too.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same type of thing.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is just us educating our students to let them know.
Right. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. That's great.
And you can always use, the announcements. I use announcements quite a bit because it also goes to their outside email.
Right.
So, just to remind them, like I'll send an announcement saying, if you need help, don't forget that, I'll be in my online meeting room tonight from 7 to whatever.
Great. Great idea. Well, thank you. That was great.
You're welcome. My pleasure. It's a great tool and it's so easy to use.
Yeah, Zoom is the most exciting new tool I've seen in quite some time.
I agree.
I'll stop my sharing.
Bingo.
Yep, but you saw how easy it was to share the screen also. So students, I think, are not intimidated by it because it is so easy to use. So they can, like I said, quite easily share their screen and just like Dave has been doing, go back and forth. So you can look at their screen and figure out maybe where they're going wrong, or like if you teach English, you could even read a paragraph on what they have, typed up, and then you could go back to your screen and make some comments or whatever. I teach computer classes, so it's really easy because I can look and see, like in Excel, what they're doing, and I can, try to help them figure out how to, fix whatever's going on. So.
Indeed.
So who do you teach with, Leslie?
I teach at Mesa. I'm in the digital technology department, so I teach mostly the business applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that type of thing. It comes in really, really handy. And I also do use Camtasia Studio because we were lucky enough we put it in our Perkins request, and so we got copies of it and didn't have to pay for it ourselves, which is nice. But I love Camtasia Studio. It's very easy to use.
Yeah, remember that's available to you all here. And we offer classes in that as well. I'll be doing one at some point.
So,
Hey,
Dave, you were saying that Hank Beaver's old office at Mesa has the Camtasia Studio?
the room next to it, the faculty work lab.
Right. So if we
That's
want,
machines in there that have Camtasia Studio on them.
do we have to make a reservation to use that through somebody particular?
I don't think so. I think you just show up and use it. Though you have to know enough to get it started. And you have to be able to get the machine logged on and get it started. So you might need... remember, Katie is up there Tuesdays from 1 to 4. So
Right.
good time to make your first trip.
Great. Awesome.
I have to say, Katie is such a good resource, as is Dave. But I've gone to see Katie many times in the when she's on our campus, and every time I go, or talking to Dave, every time I pick up something new. So even just little resources like making those little icons, it's this little program. It's easy to use, and just little things like that can hopefully enhance your delivery.
And you don't necessarily have to come see us, even though we love it when you do that. We can do that this way
Yes.
with Zoom. We use this for support a lot. in just the way that Leslie described, where we get online with somebody and we share screens back and forth and we see what's actually going on. We talk to one another as naturally as if we were sitting next to one another, and nobody has to get in the car. So that's another great value-added use. And I did think of one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about Camtasia Relay. I'll make sure this gets in the recording. The Relay Recorder client has to be installed on the machine, and if it's a machine in your office or in a classroom, you won't have rights to install it. So you can get IT to install the Camtasia Relay client. They're always welcome to do that. Or you can run Camtasia Relay off of thumb drive. There's something called the portable recorder that you can put it on a thumb drive and you just plug it into the classroom computer or your office computer, and you can run the Relay Recorder from there. The video loads records on the thumb drive, and when you're done, you save the video, and it saves on the thumb drive. You just take it back home to your computer that has the Relay client on it, and you can upload it from there. And we have a tutorial on how to do all that. So that's not an impediment if you want to use Camtasia Relay in the classroom. Okay, which I thought of that in context. Anything else? Boy, I love it. This gets so comfortable, especially for Vicki, that it can just go on and on. I'm thrilled. But and we've still got, gee, what, 7 or 8 people online.
Well, thanks, Dave. It really was great. You'll be hearing from us.
I can't wait. And watch your email. There's another, I'm doing these sessions about every Friday for the next several weeks. So.
Great, great.
Great, yeah.
And
send out the notices and we'll join you.
I'll send out the first one hopefully today before I leave, or a reminder for next week. And then I always send out a reminder on Thursday.
Okay. Sounds
The
good.
reminders are great.
Pardon?
The reminders are very good because you think Friday's so far away and then all of a sudden it's here.
Trust me, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
If you don't remind people the day before, nobody shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for showing up.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, thank you. That was very illuminating.
And thanks, Leslie.
Bye.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye.
Pleasure. Thank you, Dave. It was
Thank
great.
you, Leslie. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Kitty.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.